I don't like to talk about a man who was at one time one of the biggest music moguls ever. Dame Dash at one time with Jay-Z and Kareem Biggs formed Rockefeller, and Rockefeller for almost a decade was running the rap game. And all of a sudden, him and Jay-Z broke up. The Rock broke up. And while Jay-Z ascended to heights that no rapper has ever done, Dame Dash has crashed and burned. And basically, he just destroyed all of the relationships he's had. You destroyed the relationship with Jay-Z. You destroyed the relationship you had with Cameron, Jim Jones. All these individuals, you've destroyed the relationships. And the problem with Dame Dash, he's a broken man. Dame Dash has a narcissistic complex. He thinks that he knows everything. He's never wrong. And when a person thinks like that and doesn't want to be humble about things that happened to him in his lifetime, it comes off as being a bitter old man. Dame Dash is a bitter old man because he thought once the Rock broke up that Jay-Z would just be just another rapper. But while Jay-Z was playing chess, Dame Dash wasn't even playing checkers. I think he's playing tiddlywinks. And Dame Dash will forever say that Jay-Z blackballed him, the industry blackballed him. But Dame, remember when Hov said, oh, you think you could make another Hov, just make another Hov? Remember that, Dame? You said that. You said you could make another Hov. But you never made another Hov. The reason why you couldn't make another Hov is because Dame Dash, even though he's a great business mogul, he's a terrible businessman. Terrible businessman. He made the wrong investments. He got on the nerves of individuals that I don't care who you are. Certain people you don't talk about. Certain people, you, even if you don't like them, you don't let them know that you don't like them. And I don't know, maybe it's because Dame is a Harlem cat, and Harlem cats stick by a different code of, you know, if I don't like you, I'm not going to do business with you and all that stuff. But I'm going to tell you something, Dame. The reason why Jay-Z succeeded and you didn't is simple. Jay-Z was calculated with his decisions. You can see it in how he just moves. Jay-Z moves in a silent way. He's not flashy. He's not exotic. He's not all that. Jay-Z is the type of guy that you wouldn't know what he was doing on a normal day because Jay-Z is that type of person. But I thought, okay, the beef with Jay and all this situation with Jay-Z, that was a one-time thing. Now, all this stuff coming out about him and Cam going at it, and Cam has always been a loyal friend of Dame. Always been a loyal friend of Dame. And when Dame starts doing these interviews, he starts going at people. He starts going at Cam. And what Cam said, yo, I'm not going to entertain this for a while. But then after a while of you going back and throwing shots at Cam had to say, you know what, man, fuck this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to address this whole situation. And the whole interview at the Breakfast Club, I understand. I'm not a big fan of Charlemagne, and there were some points that Dame made that I agree with. But the one thing that everybody agrees, even us normal individuals, is that Dame is not good with money. Bro, you're not good with money. You had to file bankruptcy, a $25 million bankruptcy. You had to file for $25 million, bro. How do you lose $25 million? Your net worth is $4,000, bro. There's no way to talk about it. And you talk, I remember back in the days when you did that Breakfast Club interview, I think it was about 7 years. One of the Breakfast Club's most viral interviews, we talked about, a man can't work for nobody. You got to be your own boss and all this other stuff. You know how many people get up every day and go to work? A lot of Americans get up every day and go to work. NFL athletes get up and go to the training facility and go to the field to play football. Basketball players got a boss. NFL players got a boss. Actors got a boss. Rappers got a boss because if they sign to a label, they got a boss. Everybody has a boss, Dane. Even when you was with Rockefeller, you and Jay and them, y'all had a boss. Y'all had Def Jam. Those were your bosses. But you continuously went at the regular people. And I would think to myself sometimes, like, yo, maybe Dame is just misunderstood. Maybe it's like Kanye. He's misunderstood. But the difference between Kanye and Dame is simple. Kanye was a billionaire, but Kanye's thought process messed his money up. Dame just had a bad spending habit, taking private jets, not wearing the same clothes twice, all these different things you had when the Rockefeller breakup happened. I heard you had an enormous amount of money from that breakup. You got an enormous amount of money. You still had the rights to pay it in full. You were getting residuals off that movie. You were getting residuals off the Rockefeller name and all that. And it was a time where you were forced to sell your third of Rockefeller because you didn't have any money. And people ask, why don't anybody help Dame? See, Dame would cross a line when he talked about Jay-Z's family. That at the end of the day, if you cross a certain line, you're not going to get any help. Could Jay-Z pay off this man's debt? Hell yeah. And people ask, why don't Jay-Z do it? Because the breakup was so bad that there's no coming back from it. And then you get mad at Cam because he does an interview with 50 Cent. He does an interview with Bleak. The thing Cam said that made me just kind of think about how bad it is for Dame. Cam is like, yo, we're grown. This was years ago. Why are you talking about it in 2025? This stuff happened in 2007, 2008. A lot of people have moved on. Bleak has moved on. Cam has moved on. Jay has moved on. Everybody's moved on. It seems like you're the only one that hasn't moved on. And that's the definition of a broken man. You're a broken man, Dame, because at the end of the day, you can't move on. I mean, I've had beefs with people a long time ago. I done moved on. I'm in my 40s. I don't have time to be beefing with somebody that I beefed with 20 years ago. Like, bruh, I say, man, much success to you. I hope everything's going well for you and your family, your friends, whatever. It is what it is. I may not talk to that person ever again, but at the end of the day, I wish well on that. I wish well for that person. Dame continues to talk about Jay. He continues to talk about Cam, Bleak. Doesn't matter, bro. And some people will say, well, Dame was blackballed from the industry. Well, if Dame was blackballed from the industry, he could have pivoted. He could have pivoted to another industry. Dame is a smart individual. He just made the wrong decisions as far as business investments. And it happens sometimes. You make the wrong choices. But this is the thing, Dame, that you need to realize. What Jay-Z did that you didn't do was Jay was humble enough to talk to people who had more money than him, who could give him the information. He sat there and learned. That's one thing 50 Cent did. I knew 50 Cent wasn't going to be a rapper for long because 50 Cent was a mediocre rapper at best. He had hits. But 50 Cent realized, okay, I'm going to make 5 albums. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and do other things. I'm going to go ahead and sell vitamin water. I'm going to go ahead and sell the G-Unit sneakers. I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to do all these investments. I'm going to get in movies. I'm going to get in production and all these things. 50 Cent was smart. You look at Snoop, he's smart. You can even look at Cam. Once Cam found out about how much money he can make off YouTube and podcasting, Cam said, fuck the rap. Cam said, I'm going to go and do this. I'm going to go ahead and do the thing with Mace. Get a $35 million deal with Mace. I'm going to go ahead and do Talkers Fleet. I'm going to do my own thing. But see, Dame, my question to Dame is this. You go on the Art of Dialogue. You go on the Breakfast Club. Why don't you start your own podcast, Dame? You have the knowledge. I know people would help you with that, Dame. Why don't you start your own podcast? You're going on these other people's podcasts to make them money. Every time you go on a podcast, the videos go viral. Why don't you just go and do your own podcast, Dame? Make money from podcasting. Make money from YouTube, Dame. You even see Jim Jones getting into podcasting. People, this is what people are doing now. You see how successful Fat Joe and Jay the Kiss are with their podcast. You see how successful Gillian Wallow is. You see how successful Joe Budden is. All these individuals that are in the same industry as you, they are successful with their podcast. You know what it is, Dame? You don't want to because you don't want to listen. I know you can get people like Wallow on the phone. I know you can get people like Joe Budden on the phone. You can get people on the phone that can teach you the game. But you don't want to be taught the game because you are so much of a boss. And when you're so much of a boss, you don't want nobody to tell you shit. You're a broken man, Dame. You're a broken individual who doesn't want to listen. And I don't care who he is. I don't care if this gets 10 views or 1,000 views or 100,000 views. Somebody can send this to Dame. I don't give a damn. But Dame Dash needs to realize, bro, at the end of the day, the only person he needs to blame is himself. He put himself in this situation. You and Jay broke up. That's almost 20 years ago, bro. The Rockefeller breakup was almost 20 years ago. Jay done moved on, Bleak done moved on, Cam done moved on, everybody done moved on but you. You're the only person that hasn't moved on yet, Dame. And this is coming from somebody who was a huge fan of The Rock. I was a huge fan of the Jay-Z days and the Bleak and the Dipset and all that stuff. Everybody done moved on. But you're the only one that hasn't moved on. You go on the Breakfast Club and you go viral for that interview. You made the Breakfast Club hundreds of thousands of dollars off that interview. Think about it, Dame. Look at the YouTube analytics. That video is almost at 1 million views. It's an hour long. If you get $5 for every 1,000 views on that interview, you know how much money you done made them off that interview? You done made them people almost close to $250,000 off that one interview. That's a low end. That's low end money. Imagine if you were to start your own podcast, Dane. You have a lot of knowledge. You have a lot of stories. But you go to Art of Dialogue. Art of Dialogue, they know what they're doing. They making money off you. You saying you're a boss, but you got other people making money off you. That's why Dame is a broken man, because he doesn't see everything in its totality. That's the world that we live in today, Dame. You got to understand that shit. You got to understand that people are doing dead. You got a few artists that's popping, but if you're not a popping artist like a Beyonce or a Weeknd or, who's rapping that's popping right now? Who's selling out arenas but NBA Youngboy? But I don't want to get off topic. But in conclusion, I hope Dame gets the help he needs. I hope he, gets back to some type of prominence, because these interviews that I see him, Dame, man, it's sad, Joe. He's one of the guys that I looked up to as a businessman. When I was doing my little rap thing, I looked at the guys like Dame because they were successful businessmen. But to see a successful businessman at one time like Dame crumble like this is sad, Joe. That's all I gotta say about that, man. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. I'm out. Just don't sit there. Click on the next video. You won't regret it. I promise you.